The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Trader's Edge with Steve Rhodes. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-445-1044. The Trader's Edge. Now, Steve Rhodes.
Good afternoon from TFNN. Welcome to the November 15th, terrific Tuesday edition of today's Trader's Edge Show. I'm your host, Stevie Perseverance Rhodes, who absolutely knows that each of us should always be pioneers of our future versus prisoners of our past. Hope everyone out there is having a great day. Let's make sure we have an extraordinary one. And, of course, the easiest way to do that is to always remember that life happens for us, not to us. That's right. When you and I make that one little 2x4 shift, it means we can find the gift in every set of circumstance that life is going to toss at us. Today, you and I, we're going to go check on the circumstances of these markets. We're going to go figure out what the bulls and the bears, what the buyers and the sellers are communicating to you and I at just past 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I want you to know that I'm absolutely grateful for your presence here, but more importantly, I'm here to serve you. So feel free to pick up that phone. Now is not too soon. 877-927-6648. Of course, internationally, 727-445-1044. So let's go ahead and get this show started on Terrific Tuesday. Of course, this is Tiger Financial News Network. I'm Steve Rhodes, and welcome to the show. Right now, we have the Dow trading down 22 points at 18,846. S&P up 6. NASDAQ Composite up 33 points. Russell 2000 back 4. The DAX closed up 41. The FTSE closed up 39 points. Gold is trading up $3. Silver 16 pennies. Light sweet crude up $2 right now, trading at 45.38. Lead the charge here to the upside in the auto parts business. Advance Auto Parts, AAP, out with earnings before the bell, or maybe after the bell last night. One or the other, but up 15%, $22. Google's up $21, nearly 3%. Amazon is up $19, nearly 3%. AutoZone is up 2.5%. They struggled yesterday, but I would have to say Advance Auto Parts is helping to pick that equity to the pick it up to the upside, That doesn't even make a lot of sense. But Intuitive Surgical, that's trading to the upside. That's up $13, a little over 2%. To the downside out here, the party poopers, that is Tesaro. Did I have that right here? Yeah, okay. Tesaro Inc., TSRO, down 12%, $18. Chipotle down 13. Regenerate Pharmaceuticals off 11. Essex Properties down $7. Allergan down 7. So we've got plenty to look at, but I want to look at what you want to look at. So either give me a call at 877-927-6648. Send me an email, steve@tfnn.com. I'll do my best to get to those. And instant messages inside of the Tiger's Den will do. Now, earlier in the day, inside of the Tiger's Den, just kind of peek in and out as I'm doing numerous things in the morning, and there was some conversation about a call that Tom DeMark, great technician, had called. I think maybe it was over the weekend, maybe it was yesterday. You can search for it on the internet, and you'll find out which day it was. But in essence, he was calling for the S&P 500 specifically to form a top tomorrow, I believe. I don't think he really meant tomorrow. I think he meant maybe on Thursday. And so the question is, well, what is he looking at that we should be looking at? So let's go take a look. Let's go look specifically at the S&P 500. We're going to go ahead and put this chart up on the screen out here. You're going to see this chart here is fairly bare. The only thing that you see on this chart is Stevie's red line. That is important. That's the oscillator and change line. If you're not a subscriber to my newsletter service and you'd like to learn about that, then send me an email. Send me an email, because these are important tools. I would not waste your time. It's just that I take what I do seriously, even though I try to create some levity to it and, maybe crack a smile here and there. I do take being here with you seriously. And therefore, every call that or every piece of information I give you is well thought out in that snapshot of a few seconds out here. But it's still well thought out. It's like a supercomputer up there. And sometimes the super is not so super, but most times it is. Now, here are the numbers here that we're paying attention to. So what is it that Tom DeMark is likely looking for out here? Now, I'm going to go ahead and pull this back. This is the S&P, the daily chart here for the S&P 500. Now, I have not spoken to Tom. I don't really know what it is he's looking at, but I do know his system. And if we take a look at the system out here, I'm pretty sure this is what he's looking at. If we look at when the S&P 500 made its most recent low, right down here, November the 4th. I believe it was November the 3rd or November 7th. I think it was November 4th when my clients and I went long the S&P 500 because of some other patterns that were playing out here. But right here on November the 7th, see how this made what's labeled here as a number 9. You got to like number 9. My favorite number, by the way, is number 9. It had nothing to do with the mere fact that Tom DeMark utilized number 9, but it was nice that that's actually what he used as his first initial count. Now, what he's really counting, he's taking a look at each bar, and he's comparing it to the close of the bar 4 bars earlier. And when that actually kicks in here, what he has noticed is if you can do that 9 times in a row, typically it will mark an exhaustion point in the market. Sometimes it can mark the end of the top, the end of the bottom. Not always, but sometimes it can, so you like to pay attention to those counts. Well, he knows that off of that low, which it did work, he knows that off of that low, today we are likely to end up with count number 7. If tomorrow, I don't know, assuming that we close somewhere above the candle session 4 days ago, and that would be the close of the candle session 4 days ago, that high is, or the close, I should say, is 2163.26. As long as today's close is above that, this count will extend itself. If it doesn't, if it closes below that, this thing will go vanish. It'll be gone. It doesn't exist. You must have 9 consecutive closes, in this case here, because it's moving to the upside, greater than, not equal to, but greater than the close of 4 sessions earlier out here. Now, oftentimes he has something which he calls intersection. When you start to get to count number 8 and 9, if they happen to be within inside bar number 5 or 6 out there, respectively, then that tells you that you've got a move that is slowing down. So we won't really have that until tomorrow, assuming that these counts change. Now, look, the last 9 count, not a 9-pin, right? Because in a 9-pin, you'd still have to, throw the ball and get a spare. But in this case here, a 9 count is something that we pay attention to. Now, somebody might say, well, how often does that work? Look, you'll see some other numbers on my system, on my chart out here. By the way, if you'd like to learn that system, also subscribers have gotten access to that workshop out here. So send me an email. We'll see what it is that we can work out for you. And in the case of the TD counts out here, there's really 3 of them. There's the TD setup. Sometimes that TD setup goes on to begin and form that what's called TD sequential. TD sequential takes on that lucky number 13. Now, in the S&P 500, as an example, if we take a look at the 13 count, the TD sequential count, actually took place on September 8th. What happened the next day? Yeah, you know that. That's September 9th. In fact, was it September? Maybe it was September 7th out here. It looks, I don't know, I know this was September 9th. My day, there we go. So there's September 9th. That was September 8th. Yeah, September 7th was when it actually made that count. Now, the red line on this chart is very important. See, I say that, and if you read Tom's book, which you should, it is a very technical book. Make sure you've had no alcohol whatsoever. It just probably won't sink in out there. I'm speaking from experience out here. When we come back, let's take a look at some other counts out here just so you can gauge and understand what it is another technician and myself, what we're looking at. We'll be right back, folks. Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge, heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com. The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN and you'll find the Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now.
Steve takes your phone calls. Now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Welcome back, folks. So we're just taking a look at some of the Tom DeMark accounts that are out here, and you want to pay attention to them because oftentimes they can identify market tops and bottoms. We just took a look at the last one out here at the top back on September the 7th. Nice little TD sequential count out here. If we take a look at right back here, now this is where Stevie's red line comes in. I have identified that it works more consistently, at least for me, than the way that Tom looks at entering a trade. But that's the cool thing about his system is he gives you some parameters, but says really you ought to utilize parameters and techniques that work for you, and that's exactly what it is that I did here. Here's a 9 count. Out here on the trading day, looks like right around June the 6th. You can see price coming back, testing Stevie's red line, using that as a trampoline, a resistance zone, and continuing to move higher out here. So getting back below, turning that price oscillator down is really important out here. So you can see going back into the February 2016, into the April 2016. You'll also see a red number out here. That happens to be the TD combo. So there's really 3 counting techniques that are out here that are available in his system. We pay attention to them. Look at the high that came in on November the 4th in 2015, lined right up with what looks like pretty much the exact high back then. So it is definitely worth paying attention to out here, but it has to form. Take a look at the bottom that formed. It actually formed down here on September 29th. Here is this. This is September 29th, by the way, of 2015. But here is that intersection approach of bars 8 and 9, where they're trading within bars 5 and 6 out there. That's really a good indication of a stalling pattern out here. Price obviously getting above that oscillator unchanged line. So we'll keep close attention to it. We don't have synergy necessarily. The S&P 500 as an example, has this pattern. The Dow Jones Industrials, as an example right now, has this pattern. The Russell 2000, meaning that we are in count number 6 out here. Again, this is a TD count out here. If we take a look at the Russell 2000, you're going to see that we are in that exact same pattern out here. However, where things start to fall apart, I believe, is if we look at the NASDAQ Composite. I take that back. NASDAQ Composite also still in that pattern. Where things fall apart is in the NDX 100. So it's really only one indice that is struggling out here as we take a look at it. However, the top that it formed Okay, interestingly enough, and these markets don't always have to top at the same time. But if you take a look at the NDX 100, that top looks like October 11th, but I'm always afraid my crosshair might be off by a day. But it's that high out here. October 10th, it looks like now. Maybe I just have too many things running on the system, but it looks like October 10th, October 11th. You got that nice little TD sequential count out here, and so that's other than not knowing what to say, just really sharing with you, some other tools out there. So we'll pay close attention over the next couple of days, and then, certainly watch that oscillator unchanged line. That'll help assist us in where the market is likely headed back to. Now, where I believe the market is likely headed back to, the market, you got to take a look at which market. Be specific, buddy. I'm referring to the S&P 500. So I'm looking for price to pull back into the 2142 level. If it pulls back and it careens through that area, then that pattern that I'm looking for will have just simply be null and void, and price will go all the way back down, or should go all the way back down to that November 7th candle session out here. So at this stage, and that's really the Dow. Now, the Dow is going to be interesting. I don't know if on the Dow, with regard to its retracement out here, I can say the normal pullback would be to the 18,500 level. 118,835, 300-point move to the downside. Everybody's going to be calling it curtains out here. And not that it can't happen. That would actually just be normal in this move to the upside. Oh, by the way, inside the Dow, you'll notice at the bottom out here, not the exact bottom, but if you take a look at November the 3rd, you'll see a TD sequential count. As soon as price gets above that oscillator and change line, boom, there goes the pattern. Now, Mike asked about the IWM. We'll just put the IWM out here. And with regard to pullbacks, Mike, here's what I would say. Where the pullback could take it to be about 122.70 right now. You can see that it also happens to be in count number 6. Today is going to be count number 7. You got to wait a couple of days, and then we'll take a look and see what that is. And if you take a look at these counts, and if you're wondering, are they important? Why is Steve even spending a lick of time out here? Well, it's because just take a look at this TD sequential count inside of the IWM. On September the 8th out here, right? Called a short-term top. Take a look at the bottom out here back on November the 4th, November the 5th, little TD sequential 9 setup count. So they are worth paying attention. That's why when you see my charts out here, whatever they might be, you'll see a number of different tools and patterns out here. That's because, and that's why I'm able to, in a heartbeat, be able to provide you with information with regard to, hey, where is the market going? My eyes are just simply scanning, looking for those elements, those patterns out here to be able to provide you with the best information possible. And that is inclusive of these TD counts and these TD setups out there. So, Mike, I hope that assists you with that. There was a question inside the den earlier with regard to crude oil. I think the question was go long crude or something like that. I don't even know if it was intended for me, but I'm going to go ahead and encroach on that as well. And if it was, great. And if it wasn't, well, somebody wants to know. Inquiring minds most certainly want to know. Now I have to look for my chart, right? And this is going to be the crude oil peso and loonie chart out here. Not that I'm Looney Tunes, although that is debatable. But certainly if we want to take a look at light sweet crude, we can utilize these two currency pairs, which are against the U.S. dollar, as an indication as to what the market might be doing, because typically these currency pairs will be somewhat, not always, but somewhat in lock sync with regard to light sweet crude. In other words, you like to see the Mexican peso form a bottom as light sweet crude is forming a bottom. You like to see the Canadian dollar form a bottom if light sweet crude is forming a bottom. So here's what we know about the current contract for light sweet crude. Brand new daily profile that formed out here. Price is moving right up to a resistance zone. That resistance zone, by the way, is going to be 45.52. You've made it up to 45.47. if price is able to get above that. And so the answer is, yeah, this might be low. I think we have to really take a look at the Mexican peso and the Canadian dollar as well. But if here's what we know about light sweet crude. It's made a 100% move. It's tested a swing point. It's gotten into the swing point, but it's never tested the bottom of that swing point. But at this stage here today, it's a rejection of that swing point, the 43.45 level. Yeah, 43.45 by trade above it. So light sweet crude is very likely, if it can close above 45.52, going to go tag 46.23. And above 46.23, the accelerator should be free because the congestion zone should be gone, should be open for price to take on 49.52 to 51.98 out there. Now, if we go take a look at the Mexican peso here and we look for a bottom, we're not going to see any kind of a pattern. We're not going to see a Tom DeMark sequential count. We're not going to see anything of that sort out here. I don't see it. If I take a look at the loonie, that means I'm looking in the mirror, and that's a beautiful thing out here. We can see that right now the Canadian dollar, the futures contract, is trying to make its way above Stevie's red line. But that's the only bottoming pattern that I see at the moment. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back, folks.
In quiet markets, investors search for new trading opportunities. We'd like to introduce you to a new product that provides opportunities even in flat markets. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a new and innovative Chicago-based exchange registered with the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their trading platform. Nadex never charges a fee to use their platform, which even includes real-time charts and full customization capability. Nadex's unique short-term binary options allow traders and investors to capitalize on strategies even when the underlying markets are quiet. Nadex's innovation has allowed them to come up with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com, or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Technomental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Technomental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Technomental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. So let's go check in on some of the emails out here. Good afternoon, Steve. I sound like a broken record, but just wondering what your thoughts are on JNUG and NUGT today. I keep moving my stops up, and I'm enjoying this short, quick ride. Yen, US dollar, GDX, yelling on Thursday. So that's from Tom. And Tom, I don't know about you, but, there are many songs that I play over and over again. And so you don't sound like a broken record out there. I think you're just asking for some advice. And this one's a record that we all like to play here at TFNN. So to answer Tom's question, right, do you know at least, he really identified some of the things that we have to take a look at. So he's mentioned the yen, which we do take a look at here. Here is the chart, bonds up top, gold in the center, the yen down at the bottom panel. This happens to be a daily chart. Looks like now I've got all the continuous contracts out here. One of the things that I pointed out inside of the Tigers Den, this is specifically with regard to bonds, so sorry about the sidetrack. I had to go all the way to September in 2014 before I could find a pattern. Where was it? Right here, September in 2014, where bonds had made a bottom. Right here, September 18, 2014, before they started moving higher. And if you look at the very bottom portion of my chart, we did not get that same bottoming pattern inside of the Japanese yen. Otherwise, basically every other major bottom inside of the U.S. Treasuries out there, inside the 30-year Treasury, I should say, has bottomed. Either the yen is bottomed first, which was your sign, or it has bottomed on that same day. When I say bottom, giving us some type of bullish reversal signal. Now, we'll go take a look at that. I didn't go back and study the gold chart in comparison, but it's not that far off. Of course, what that says with regard to the U.S. Treasuries, if this currency pair, the futures contract for the Japanese yen hasn't bottomed here, likely the Treasury bond has also not bottomed, not unless it's going to repeat September 18, 2014. Of course, it can do that. Then with regard to gold, so Tom, the first answer to your question is, with regard to the currency pair, it looks like this is a short-term trade for you because we just don't have that bottoming pattern inside of the yen. That is if you believe that that is a significant influencing factor in your trade out here. Now, if we go take a look at gold itself, by doing that, let's go take a look at this. We spent a lot of time. I had no idea this is how it was going to play out here, and thanks for the question. But if we take a look at, now I've got the continuous contract up here for gold, but with regard to the TD counts that are out here, it's going to be the same. You're going to see that yesterday is count number 6, much like the S&P at its highs. This happens to be gold at its lows. So that says that 2 days from now, we could be getting a TD setup 9 count out there, Tom. So, you could see gold really move sideways. So this is so I don't know what it's going to do from here, but 2 days from now, there is a possibility that you will get the same type of topping count from Tom to Mark as you will bottoming count inside of gold. Now, the last time that we saw and I'm referring to the black digits on this chart, you're going to see black, blue, and red out here. And if we take a look at the last time we saw a short-term bottom inside of Goldilocks, it coincided with a TD setup 9 count. That was on October the 7th. And then Goldilocks went higher into, of course, that's right, Polar, went into the election high out there before gold started to sell off. So that's a slight positive for you with regard to that trade. So that covers the daily basis out here. If we take a look at what's going on a 30-minute basis for the two twains shall meet out there. And that is, we can see, now this is interesting. So here, this is so first of all, continue to move your stops, however it is you're doing it. Now, here's the first positive, both for the 30-year Treasury, potentially, and for gold in finding a bottom out here. So you want to pay attention. What is that? Well, we continue to see that the Japanese yen continues to get stretched due to less relative energy as it has moved down. And he did have a nice little piercing candle out here. It's the sign that it's trying to form a bottom. It is trying to, but continues to struggle to do so out here. So, just continue to move your stops. We're at a stage here now where on a 30-minute basis inside of gold, what I can't tell is whether we're done with making higher highs. In other words, the candle session at 4 o'clock this morning was the third higher high that we have if we utilize our wave counts out here. And from that high, the second lower low took place at 9:30 this morning. So if we see gold trade back and move below that low at 9:30 this morning, by the way, that price point out here is 1218.60. You get below 1218.60, and now we're just in this little sideways-ish consolidation, and probably, Tom, you're out of your JNUGT, NUG trade. I guess the question would be, do I see something in the cards here on a 30-minute chart that says, yeah, we're definitely off the bottom here in gold? The answer is I don't see it. And I'd say, hey, with that TD setup potentially forming out here, with the yen doing what it's doing right now, may not be a bad play in really taking a look at this thing here on Thursday. So if you remind me, which you probably won't need to, but you most certainly can, we'll certainly take a look where we're at with that. So hopefully that assists you there. And I know that was for all of our Denners as well. Now, another question that looks like it rolled in, rolling, rawhide. Now, if we take a look at Larry has, if I have time today, could we look at CLD, which is a coal company, bought a small starter position in July when I was pretty certain of a Trump victory. So, Larry, congrats to you, and I think maybe you should put your name in for the team out there, the Trump team. If you've got that much conviction, I mean, you really. So I'll put your name in, but I don't know where to put it in for you. In any event, I'd like to add, haven't done so yet, and holding this long-term, potentially $14 or so. So how far do you see this pulling back, and where would you look at to add? So the ticker symbol here. So thanks for the question, Larry. Much appreciated. Let's go take a look at ticker symbol CLD, and let's kind of break this apart on multiple time frames out here. So if we look at it, here is what we know today. Let me turn this one other thing off. I meant to do that, use that for gold. I didn't do it, so we will just simply bypass it now. I don't need to do that. I think we've covered enough here. So with regard to CLD, what I want to do, Larry, is let me go populate my other chart just to see if anything really big pops out at me. While that's going on, yeah, it does. It does. I know somebody might say, well, don't keep it to yourself, Steve-O. Give me 1 minute here. I want to finish the decorations out here. I got to, son of a gun. How does that work, folks? Really? You would think, all right, I'm going to just do this in front of you here. So here's, Larry, one of the first things that I saw, right? So when my chart popped up, I have to sort of manually, identify the swing points in order to do the wave counts. What I don't have to do is manually figure out what the TD accounts are, where the price is moving higher, doing less relative energy. So that's the first thing that popped up on my mind, right? When you take a look at this chart and you see that, and then you see the shooting star from yesterday, you say, something to think about, especially because we're below that oscillator on change line. Let's go answer Larry's question before we get back from this break.
Are China A-shares hot or not? If you trade China A-shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A-share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A-shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. TFNN is excited to offer a brand new piece of market scanning software unlike anything the industry has ever seen. John Logan and his team have spent years developing their market profile tools to finally be able to release the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. And right now, you can get a 2-week trial absolutely free just by visiting TFNN.com and providing us your name and email address. The TAS Profile Scanner Plus is the premier market profile-based scanner in the industry. Powered by the acclaimed TAS proprietary algorithms, this feature-rich scanner is a standalone desktop software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Within 3 minutes of signing up, you can have the software downloaded and running on your computer with a complete roadmap of market indicators and inflection points to trade off using the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. Sign up today and try this amazing piece of software by visiting TFNN.com.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. So we're taking a look at ticker symbol here, Cloud Peak Energy, and our listener, trader, got into this as a result of being able to call the Trump victory. Now, a piece of information I'll throw out there for you that many of you may already know, but for those of you that didn't know, first I'll pose the question: what percentage of the election rhetoric policies make it from what the candidates prior to the election during the beat 'em up phase, what percentage actually do the presidents actually get into policy, actually follow through with? What percentage? Now, many of you might go ahead and say, it's just a lot of election talk. And so Duffy says 2%, and Polar says almost all. And so is there anything in between that? I will say that Polar is more accurate. The actual number, Danny, is 73%. Now, I think that goes back to Buchanan. I'm pretty sure that the data on that, the big data, goes back to James Buchanan in the 70s. It's either Buchanan, may even go back even further than that. I should have written it down. Maybe it goes back to Martin Van Buren out there. So back in the 70s. But it's basically the statistical data is 70%. So I want to just simply throw that out there for Larry with regard to the trade. Now back to the specific trade here with regard to coal. Here's what it's doing today. So here's the tough call. You're asking, where do I add to it? What we know is that on election day, the following day, November 9th, you saw CLD break out to the upside with big volume. Big volume was 6.2 million shares. Price now today has pulled back to that breakout area. In essence, it has tested it as long as it closes above 679. You're trading at 683. You've been down to a low of 674. You've done 1.5 million shares. So you're testing that with lighter volume. Today could be a level where you would add to it. So that's one spot. I'm not saying you should. I'm going to give you the first spot out there. Also, happens to be the top of the TAS daily profile. That could also be support. Now, the cool thing is that at the end of the day, and I hate using that expression, and I don't use it, but at the end of today's trading session, any close below 681 would suggest that, in this case here, CLD could pull back to 578, and that would be the next place that you would look to add. Now, I believe that might even be over your entry point out there, but that would be the message of utilizing this set of charts out here. And anything below 578 spells trouble, says that price would pull all the way back to that high volume session from September the 21st. Right now, today, we know it's testing a breakout area. It's doing it on lighter volume. Wait for some other type of signal out here before you just add to it. If I look at a 30-minute chart out here, what I don't see, and this is a 30-minute time frame chart for the same equity, CLD, we know price is moving higher, doing less relative energy. You know, it has since pulled back. If I look at the wave counts to the downside, I don't see anything out here on a 30-minute basis that says that the move lower is over out here. So it says be patient on that. That's using a 30-minute chart. Now, the problem is, here's the chart. Here's the bigger problem, potential bigger problem. And this is what I said. So when I first look at this chart, when I first populate, I see price going up or down with less relative energy. That's one thing, but then I really have to push the temples when I see the cavalry has arrived. And that is, in essence, what took place yesterday when that little shooting star candle formed. And then you got closed below the oscillator unchanged line. That says pulling back further is likely what is in store. And then I just simply wanted to say, hey, what's my wave count? Now, this allows me just simply to electronically. I'll just trying to pick out where is the low? Where is the low swing point that I want to use to begin my wave count to the upside? That says that's the trading day of September 17th. And now when I go populate that to the upside, that's when I said, how does this work? Because I don't make this stuff up. And when it made that high, the day following the election cycle, it actually went on to make wave number 7. So, Larry, this is suggesting that it could be a top of some kind of consequence out here. I think you are in the right sandbox. And I think I know that you're asking the right question, certainly with the pullback. The question is going to be where. I think it not beware, but be aware of some of these patterns out here. And I would just take it easy for a day. No reason not to do that. Or a couple of days, see if this TAS market profile in this breakout area holds. So the price level you're watching is 681. And thanks for the question and your intuitiveness with regard to, being able to share that with all of the tigers and tigresses here at TFNN. And, of course, that's Larry from Detroit, the Motor City. He doesn't get any better than that, especially when because he's from the Motor City, you know that he's going to pay attention to Stevie Wonder on the charts singing in the key of G out there, that wave number 7. Okay, I don't see any other emails. I think we've gotten to all of those. Are there items? So with regard to that statement that candidates, once elected, are able to truly focus and get through about on average 73% of what it was that they said they wanted to do, that they'll actually be able to execute and move forward with. And is there anything that would have you believe otherwise that this guy won't do? Speaking of Mustang Sally, for Duffy, during my workouts at the very end, sometime if a trainer says, and this is a class workout here, we'll do the Mustang Sallies. And if you don't know what I mean there, that song there where you're up and down, you can picture, yeah, exactly. It's no fun, but it does lead to a good workout at the end of the session out there. In any event, probably none of you knew what the Sam heck I was actually talking about there, but for those of you in the service, you do. So let's take a look at so I think with regard to going forward, and Larry is on to something, really we need to step back just as the markets out here are trying to there's Polar trying to make me laugh and just cut right through. There's some instant pinging going on here, and I cannot repeat what he is sharing with me, but that's okay. It's all in good stride. But really, we ought to be just like Larry has done here and has said, hey, take a look at coal and other things like that. Really knowing that 73% historical number and you're looking for a probability makes sense to do the same types of things that Larry is doing out there. So maybe some of you will send in some of your own prescriptions of equities and things that you're taking a look at as you've paid attention and focused on, what the candidates and their teams are trying to do out there. Okay, so enough of that stuff, but I think it's important to know. Okay, if it wasn't, I wouldn't have shared it. So what else do we want to look at? We've taken a look at gold. In essence, we've looked at silver. In essence, we've really looked at the GDX. We've looked at light sweet crude. We've covered the markets for the most part. We haven't really looked at stuff intraday. So why don't we do that when we get back from the break? We'll go take a look at some intraday stuff for you to pay attention to. Talk about where the VIX is headed to. Anything else that you'd like. I'm all ears. Well, 2 ears. But I have 2 ears, and I'm here to listen. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back.
Today, it's hard to tell if the economy is coming or going. Regardless, I want my money going in the direction I choose. If that's your stance as well, then you want to know how Everbank can help keep your money thriving just the way you want. Is growing your money a priority? Everbank is committed to a yield pledge promise to pay high yields on your checking, money market, and CD balances. Looking to diversify? Everbank ingeniously developed accessible ways to spread your money around the world into foreign currencies and even non-FDIC insured metals. And when it comes to your wealth, they bring a highly experienced and global perspective to help you manage it. Everbank's financial philosophy flies in the face of the status quo. They believe your money's performance should not be determined by today's economic circumstances, but by the drive to rise above them and create opportunities that favor your objectives. If that excites you, like it does me, call 1-855-750-4051 to find out what they can do for you. That's 1-855-750-4051. Call them today. Everbank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
It's 2016 and TFNN has a brand new programming lineup to kick things off. Starting January 4th, Swim Lessons by Thinkorswim and TD Ameritrade will be airing 5 days a week at noon Eastern Time. Join hosts Scott Connor, Kevin Hinks, and Cindy Faber as they host their daily options program live at noon 5 days a week with no commercials for the entire hour. Nico DeHaan and Paige Clark will be moving their program, Living a Primal Lifestyle, to twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays from 7 a.m. until 8 a.m. Eastern Time. Wake up with Nico and Paige and start your day off right. The Bull Bear Binary Option Hour by Nadex will now be live Mondays and Fridays at 10 a.m. Start and end the week with the 3 hosts, Tom O'Brien, Tommy O'Brien, and Daryl Martin, as they break down the world of trading binary options and spreads. For all the details on the new 2016 programming lineup, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Join David White as he keeps you up to date on the latest tech stocks while he uses his Power Law Vector Indicator to identify the best trades. The Power Trading Hour, next on TFNN.
Welcome back, folks. So one of our dinners posted the following at 13:41, 07 hours out here. Under the new regime in Washington, it's possible that an agency like the CFTC, which regulates futures, swaps, and some physical commodity markets, could be an important strategic arm of the new administration, fostering a return of the commodities business. More tax revenue, increasing information flows, and the availability of raw material for infrastructure building will result from an agency that actively works to attract and support the commodities business in the United States for years to come. President Trump has spent his entire life as a successful builder. He is likely to be the builder-in-chief for the U.S., and that means that demand for raw materials will increase dramatically. Now, thank you for posting that. Why? Because, number one, it tells, again, areas of focus that we should be taking a look at how to position our portfolios, our longer-term portfolios, even shorter-term type trades out there. Now, that also says to me inflation. I don't know if that's what it says to you, but it says to me inflation. In inflation, as we know, both you and I know, are positive for the stock market. That's the first thing. This chart here happens to be from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, okay? And even though you can or you can't go ahead and rely on it, it's consistently inaccurate, let's call it. In this case here, it shows you during periods of time, the upper panel, when we have inflation, what do we have inside the stock market? The stock market moving to higher highs. How's the stock market going to go ahead and complete at least those Elliott wave, fifth wave that we are in right now, amongst many other things out here? Well, Z in the Den just gave one of the answers with regard to that, okay? So inflation's going to tick up. That is good for the stock market. How is it that with the stronger U.S. dollar, that gold and silver are going to move higher out here? And even though everybody else is calling for the death of those two commodities, well, I got news for you. Typically, and here's another chart, the bottom chart being a continuous contract for gold, the upper chart being, in essence, the inflationary time periods out here. And if we are in a nice inflationary time period, what does this say for Goldilocks and silver and commodities in general? Is they too will go for the moon out there. And you know, I have shared with you other charts before, and other than the first few days, which really provide you with a buying opportunity, when the Fed begins raising interest rates, is that the time when all holy heck is going to break loose in the S&P 500? If so, just for a very short period of time. Those represent buying opportunities, because the markets of the past have shown that when interest rates rise, so too does the stock market. I mean, it is like check, check, check mark out there, or checkmate. Probably not check mark out here, of everything that keeps coming together, that it keeps answering at least the question in my mind: how is it, what is it that's going to be the push behind these markets? These markets have been signaling to you and I in breaking out of consolidation patterns long term and other things that they want to seek higher price out here, let alone the fact that we happen to be in the seasonal cycle to the upside, which takes the market higher from, as you know, mid-October until the end of December. And this year, because it's the first year of a new president out here, it goes basically until May. Yeah, we're talking about the bottom that just formed out here, and this is where I differ from Tom DeMark with regard to where the pullback is going to come to, is that these markets are going to, in the words of a Mazda, zoom, zoom, zoom to higher ground out here. And so, just like Larry was doing, just like Mr. Z is pointing out, we really need to focus on these areas out here, take that 70% probability that the new administration is going to be able to deliver on many of the things it said it's going to do, and position ourselves appropriately. Folks, stay tuned, because our man, our intelligent man, the polar bear, he's going to be up next. That's David White. Tom O'Brien Show from 3 to 5. Andy Heck from 5 to 6. Have a great day. We'll see you on Wonderful Wednesday.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active effective trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters.
You're watching Tiger TV.